Hello fashion lovers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Betty. In today's video, I'll be taking you through the process of drafting and sewing a basic shirt collar. If this is something you're interested in, I will say keep on watching, hit the subscribe button so that you'll get notified when I upload new video. And do not forget to like, comment and share so that this video can get to those that also need it. So let's get right into the video. In order for us to draft a shirt collar, we will need to take the round neck measurement of our shirt, okay? So before we do that, we can go ahead and trim off any excess like you see me do. Then we'll go in with our measuring tape to take it all round the neckline to get the round neck of our shirt collar. So basically you'll be starting from one edge of the placket, going all the way around. Take your time. So as you measure it, you spread it out little by little and you take it all round. What I got was 16.75, so I'm going to go ahead and do it twice so that I don't short off my measurement. So each time you go round your neckline and whatever you get, you have to go round again to be sure that what you're getting is accurate so that there will be no form of shortage when you want to sew. And I went twice and I still got 16.75. So this is what we are using to draft. We are using our collar stay, and one side has a shining side and the other side is dull. So what we are going to do is to fold the collar stay into two. Remember, the collar stay we are using is a light collar stay, it should not be too thick. So the round neck measurement, we are going to divide it by 2 and check if the space will be enough for our drafting. So since that is enough, we'll go ahead and mark out a line for our start line, okay? So I'm just going to rule a straight line to get our start line. So all of our measurements to be going upward, all right? Next, we're going to divide our neck circumference by 2 and we are going to mark that down, ensuring that our pattern is on fold, okay? Now that we have done that, we need to extend that line. So we are going to still mark whatever we got divided by 2. We are going to mark it on different points of the pattern paper or on the collar stay. We are going to connect it like so. After connecting that, now we have a square we are working with. The next thing we have to do is to go up on this line by half of an inches, okay? On the folded parts by half of an inches, and on this side we are going up by 0.25. Now for us to be able to connect this, we need to divide from here to here into 2. So we are just going to place our tape like this and divide it by 2 and we'll mark that middle like so. The next thing we have to do is to connect those lines. So we use our curve ruler to be connecting these lines to the middle. So this is how I'm connecting it. First, you connect from the half inch to the middle, and then you connect from the 0.5 to the middle. Now to get the height of the collar, we'll be using 1.25 inches, okay? So this is 1.25 inches, okay? We're going to mark that down like you see me do. Now this is what I marked. After 1 inches, I counted 1, 2. So that is 1.25. You're going to mark that down. Then on this point here, we'll be going up by 1 inches, alright? And we are going to mark that down. Take note that we are starting from the curved line that we got, okay? And not the start line. The next thing we have to do is to connect it using our straight ruler like you see me do. So basically we have our collar stand. Now for us to draft the collar spread, this is how we are going to do this. On this side here, we'll go inward by 0.25 and we are going to mark that down and connect it to have a slant on our collar stand. Alright? After marking that down, we connect it with our straight ruler like so. The next thing we have to do is on that new point that we just marked, we'll be going inward by 1 inches like you see me do, and we are going to mark that down. Okay, the next thing is on this line here, we'll go up by 0.375. Okay, after half inches, 0.375, we're going to mark that point down. Then we're going to connect it using our curve ruler like you see me do to that point. The next thing we have to do is to mark the length of our collar spread. So we'll be marking our length from this point here, or you can just use from this line here. We're marking 3.5 inches upward, okay? And the next thing is to connect from this point to the 1 inches mark that we went inward by. Can you see? Then after that, the length we need to mark is a length of 2.25 inches. So after 2 inches, you're going to count 1, 2. That will give you 2.25 inches. To mark that point down, and we're going to connect it using our curve ruler. So a slightly curved ruler, please. So that's how to draft your shirt collar. So we now have the collar stand and also the collar spread. The next thing we have to do is to secure it down before we go in and cut, okay? So ensure that you're securing the collar spread and also the collar stand so that it doesn't move. Then we can go in with our scissors to cut through the lines. So just follow the lines that you see me follow. So now we are going to be ironing this down to the fabric, okay? So when you open it up, you have the collar spread and collar stand like so. So let's go ahead and iron this on our fabric. First, you're going to get your fabric and place it on fold, right side facing a shoulder, and we'll be placing our collar spread on it, the side that has a shining side on the fabric, leaving some space up. We'll do the same thing for the collar stand, okay? Next thing we have to do is to iron that down. So I'll be applying hemming gum to it, okay? So just go ahead and apply your hemming gum because this collar stay does not stick properly. I don't know why. So I just went ahead to use my hemming gum first and I placed it on it. Ensure that you're leaving enough space on the upper part, all right, because we'll be adding our allowance, and always mark out where the up is so that we don't get confused. We'll go ahead and apply hemming gum to the lower part too, which is the collar stand, and we'll place it on it. The next thing we have to do is to iron that down. After ironing that down, we'll go ahead and add seam allowance of half inches around like so. So I added at the top and also around the collar stay. We'll not be adding on the lower part of the collar spread. So when I cut it, you're going to see a clear view of what I mean. So I added half of an inches like this and also half inches around this. Then the lower parts do not add allowance on the collar spread side, okay? Before we go over to our sewing machine, this is what I would like you to do, okay? Pay close attention. We'll be picking one of the fabric of the collar stand, just one, the one that has the hard collar stay on it. We are going to iron it down first, following the shape of the collar stand. Okay, so this part that we are doing is the lower side of it. That was why I was like, you should identify where the upper part is. After ironing that down, we'll go ahead and secure it permanently with our hemming gum. All right. Then we'll go in with our iron to iron it down permanently like you see me do. All right. After the first fold, the second fold is to also fold in the hem of the second one, that is the lower part of the collar stay like so. But this time around, you'll not be adding hemming gum to it. You'll not be adding any hemming gum. You're not securing it permanently. We're only trying to have a crease line so that when we want to fix in our collar, we'll know where we are sewing it to. So I've gone ahead to stitch on this line here slightly close to the collar stay all round like so. Please do not stitch on the collar stay, okay? Then we'll go ahead to trim off the excess. So I've gone ahead to trim off the excess. The next thing I went to do is to notch the sharp edge like this so as our collar will be able to turn in neatly. Then you go in and turn it in like you see me do. So you do this carefully. All right, you can use a sharp object like a scissors or screwdriver or whatsoever, but please be careful so that you don't tear your fabric. So just carefully do this and bring out the sharp edge. Once that is done, the next thing we have to do is to go over to our ironing board and make sure that the seams are in the middle. Okay, no one should be going below, should be in the middle. So I've gone ahead to do that. The next thing is to notch the middle of our collar spread. Okay, so just go ahead and notch the lower parts of the middle of our collar spread like this, and then you pick our collar stand, securing it down, fold it into two and notch the middle like you see me do. Take note that the side I am notching is the upper part of the collar spread. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. All right, pick one side and ensure that we are placing collar stay to collar stay like so, and then we are placing the fabric side to the fabric side. So we are placing the notches together, ensuring that everything meets. Then we'll go ahead with our pin to secure it down. All right, so we are sandwiching each of them like so. So just pin it firmly down. The next thing we have to take note of is the edge. Remember that when we drafted our pattern, our collar spread stopped at 1 inch. So I'll advise you to always notch where your lines stop so that you will not have mistake when you're sewing. So what I did was, since it was 1 inch and I added half-inch allowance, I just measured 1.5 inches and just secure it down. So on this point here, I just used the collar stay and I measured 1 inches from the collar stay. I marked it down and then I ensured that my collar spread is stopping exactly on that 1 inch. I pin it down like this and I brought the other side like so, and I ensured that they are meeting each other like this, and I went in with my pin to secure the four of them firmly down. Let me just say the three of them firmly down. So now that we have done that, we'll just go ahead to stitch slightly close to the collar stay. Please do not stitch on the collar stay. Stitch slightly close to the collar stay and make sure that you're stitching with the side that has the collar stand. Okay. So that when we turn it inside out, this is what we have. All right, so we'll just go back and trim off the excess inside to prevent any form of bulging. Okay, so now that we have done that, the next thing we have to do is to close the edge. So this is how we are going to close it. So you'll be stitching slightly close to the collar stay like this on both sides, like you see me do. Please ensure that you do not stitch on the collar stay. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the other side. We'll stitch it down like so, all the way down, and then we'll go in and trim off the excess inside. And also ensure that you're notching every sharp edge. Now we can go in and flip it inside out like you see me do. We can go over to our ironing board to iron this down. Now that we have ironed this down, the next thing we have to do is to fix the collar to the shirt. Okay, so we'll fold our collar into two and mark out where the middle is. We can start by notching where the middle is. Okay, you can mark the side that you can't notch and notch the lining part. Okay, so this is what I have. All right, so the next thing is to get the shirt itself and fold it into two, ensuring to get the middle of our shirt, okay, on the back side, and we are going to notch that point. So that is where we'll be fixing our collar. Okay, so on the wrong side of the fabric, like you see me do, we are going to place the side that has lining to the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, and we are going to match the notch like this. Take note of this, it should be on the wrong side of the fabric. Then next we are going to go to where the plackets stop and we're going to match the edge to meet each other like this. We're going to secure it down with our pin. We'll do the same thing for the other side of the placket. We'll ensure that the collar is meeting where the placket is, and we're going to secure it down using our pin. Then the next thing is to hold each edge with our pin. So we'll just spread it out and secure it down using our pin, just like you see me do. So we'll be doing this all around the neckline, okay? So just spread it out and secure it down. Ensure that when you are securing this down, you are not folding any fabric on the neckline. Make sure that everything is laying perfectly flat. Then you can go in and secure it down on your sewing machine like so. So as you sew, ensure that you're taking out your pins, and also check underneath the shirts, or check underneath it to make sure that you're not over stitching or you're not joining more than one fabric together. We want a neat stitch, okay? So the next thing we have to do is to fold in this point like this underneath the collar, okay? See the way I did it. We're going to secure it down using our pin. We'll do the same thing for the other edge. We'll raise this up, place it underneath the collar, and we're going to secure it down with our pin. So this enables our excess not to be gaping out when we want to sew, okay? Then we'll go over, after securing that down, we'll go over to the middle of the neckline, okay? And we are going to match it to the crease line here, and we are going to pin it down too. Then on the other side, we'll just spread it out and pin. So you need to take your time on this. Ensure that your stitches are not showing when you are spreading it out. If you notice any form of excess or any, you make sure that you rearrange it and then go in with your pin again and secure it down. So this is what I'm doing. I noticed there was an excess. I took out my pin, I spread it out, and I secured it down again. So you're going to do it for the other side, all right? Just ensure that you're spreading it out, your seams are not showing, your excess are not showing, everything is laying underneath it. So you carefully pin it down. Ensure that the back side does not have any form of excess too, like you're not pinning excess fabric to the neckline. Now we can go in and stitch that firmly down. So our collar is almost ready, okay? So now on the wrong side it is looking neat, and also on the right side it is looking neat. So the next thing we have to do is to sew slightly close to the edge by 0.3 inches. So you're just going to stitch that down all round like you see me do. Then you go over to the collar spread and do the same thing. You'll be stitching by 0.3 inches all round, and always make sure that you trim off every excess. This also allows your seams to look very neat. So that's basically all for the sewing of the collar. So you can go ahead on your ironing board to iron it down, all right, so that everything lays perfectly flat. Then the next thing we want to do is to fix in our buttonhole. So one of the best ways of fixing our buttonhole is to set your stitch on the tightest stitch that you have on your sewing machine, okay, the tightest stitch, and then we rule the lines that we want to mark our button. So just rule a straight line, okay, and you rule a line that could fit in your button. Then you will stitch on that line. Then when you get to the edge of the line, you turn your fabric and then you stitch again. You can do this method if you don't have a buttonhole machine. Okay, then the next thing we have to do is to use our seam cutter to open up the hole. So this is how you're going to open it up. You're just going to fold or bend your fabric like this, and then you put it inward once you have gotten a hole, and you slash through that line. If you find this video helpful, like, comment, and also hit the subscribe button so that you become a member of my sewing family. Thank you for watching, and this is all for this tutorial. See you guys in my next video.